folks, this is Keough with a post-meet video log. I wanted to do one of these on my way home from UPA Battle on the Mississippi, in which I discuss the good, the bad, and the very ugly from my most recent meet. And to give you a rundown on what my lifts were at this meet, I squatted 446, I benched 308, and I deadlifted 601. And let me talk to you a little bit about how the meet went. I'll start with the bad. The bad was my squat, which was just terrible. I felt good in warm-ups. I felt good with my opener. It came up really fast. And 496 just crushed me twice. I have no idea what happened. I can't blame the weight cut. I can't blame the recomp. I can't blame the equipment at the gym. I know people were talking about the platform being unsteady, but honestly, I didn't really experience that. I didn't bring my squat today, and I don't know exactly what happened, but at the end of this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the things I'm thinking of doing to try and make sure that doesn't happen again. Onto the bench. Again, just like with the squat, the bench and warm-ups felt really strong. I opened at 276 and I crushed it. I went up to 303 and I handled that really easily, a lot easier than I handled 303 in training the previous week. Went up to 308 to break my meet best of 303, and I got that pretty easily. The setup for the bench press was just absolutely miserable. We were having a tough time with the handoff. 308 got stuck on one side on one of the J hooks, and it was a real mess. I was having a hard time with my footing. My foot slipped twice, pretty badly on the 308, and I basically lost a good chunk of my arch. But I just felt really strong, and with the attempts that I took, I honestly feel like I had another 10 pounds or so in me on the bench. I felt really good with it. The recomposition helped a lot. The carb loading really helped me feel exceptionally strong on the bench, as strong as I ever have. So that's a small meet PR with that bench. And then on deadlift, I opened at 518. I pulled it as fast as I've ever pulled a warm up on deadlift. I feel like the lockout was just really fast for me, and all of my warm ups just felt like incredibly fast. And pulled 518 for an opener. Second attempt went up to 578 and pulled that really easily. Actually, too, got a little hung up at lockout, but was able to pull it through pretty smooth. And that's a small meet PR for me. And at my last meet, 573 was really difficult, and this was an easy 578. So because the meet total was already a bust, I decided I'd go up to 601 because 600 sounds cool, and I figured might as well give me something that's really going to challenge me, and just put a number up and go for it. And that's what I did. And the lockout was slow, but it came up pretty strong off the ground. I was in good position for my lockout. I got my hips through well, and I was able to finish the lift clean, and grip up wasn't an issue at all. I pulled it strong, and so that's a 601 deadlift at a body weight of 146 and a half pounds. That's my first quadruple body weight deadlift, and it's an improvement. 573 to 601 in one training cycle. That I attribute entirely to number one, my change stance, and number two, my change in training. Doing a lot more heavy deadlifting has really helped me, and I'm excited to see what the future holds in store for my deadlift once I continue to train in this way. So I don't know exactly how to feel about the meet. On the one hand, my push-pull total was very close to 900, which is a lot higher than I expected it to be going into this meet, and 2/3 of the lifts felt phenomenally strong. My squat was a disaster, and my squat is holding me back. It is holding me back for the second consecutive meet. I've hit bigger squats than obviously 446 in training. 446 is a very conservative warm-up, and so it's very frustrating that I continue 496. So I need to make a few changes. I don't need to necessarily overhaul my squat training, but two things that I'm probably going to do are, number one, I'm going to start doing more heavy squatting, okay? I'm going to get back in my wraps every so often. I'm going to start doing more heavy reverse band squatting. I'm going to put some heavy weights on my back. Try and do it once a week. The unwrapped work has been great, but I think I've taken it a little too far for a little too long, and it's time for me to start coming back, breaking rep PRs with heavy weights, and trying to really gain some experience in my knee wraps, because I've been out of them now for the most part for the last 6 or 7 months, and it's time for me to start working in them again. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment with moving my stance out. I'm not going to move it out a lot. I'm not going to change how I squat. I'm not going to become a wide stance squatter, but even just a couple of inches is going to make a difference. I have to be so perfect with my balance, and on the first miss at 496, I just got off balance, the bar started tilting, and that was the end of it. And with a stance in which the heels are 2 inches apart, that's what happens to me if I lose my balance even a little bit. And so the second thing I need to do is I need to start messing around with a wider stance squat. It's going to take me back. It's going to take my squat back a little bit. My squat might regress for November, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. It's something that I have to do. Again, it doesn't have to be super wide, but it is something I have to work on, and it's something I plan on addressing this training cycle, so it's finally time. I'm also going to mess around with my bench grip. I'm going to take some advice to try moving my bench grip in a little bit. My tricep recruitment is pretty low, and my bench is getting stronger, and it felt great, so I don't want to mess with something that is going well, but I do want to try and incorporate my triceps a little bit more on my bench press. So I'm going to start doing some benching with a shorter grip, and I'm going to see how it feels, and I'm going to see if I can build it up and really push my bench press, because I still believe that someday I can be a 340, a 350 pound bench presser. It's going to take a lot of work on my part, but I believe that it's possible. I believe that I have the ability to do that, even at 148, and that's what I'm going to try and find out. So overall, it was a good and a bad experience. The bomb out, or not the bomb out, but the near bomb out, the terrible squat actually enabled me to number one, really focus on my bench, and number two, put together a big PR on my deadlift. So ultimately, there were some positives to be gained from the experience. I want to thank everybody that helped me in training for this meet. I'm disappointed that I didn't break my PR total, but I at least matched it by doing 13:55, and I set meet PRs in 2 lifts. So I feel like I had a good day. Certainly not the day that I wanted, but still a solid performance. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who's helped me train for this meet. There are a lot of people that I should be thanking, and the list is really long, so I'm just going to kind of just say that a ton of people helped me prepare for this meet. I appreciate their help, and I feel very badly that I wasn't able to put together the total that I wanted, and I feel like I let a lot of people down, but this isn't the end. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to put together a bigger total than 13:55. It will happen. I don't know when, but I'm going to do it. And, I want to thank, in particular, my girlfriend, Janice, who was wonderful this weekend, helped me out, handled me, and just helped me stay in the meet when, honestly, after the squats, I was wishing at that point that I just bombed out, because I didn't want to participate in anymore, but she talked some sense into me. And after that, I was able to regroup, and I was able to salvage the day. And sometimes that's what you have to do when things don't go your way. Oh, and I won Best Lifter, which is awesome. So, yes, Best Raw Lifter. And that was pretty cool, because it was a good field with some good lifters in it. And I know some of those guys weren't 100%. And so I don't want to make too much out of that victory, but honestly, I'll take what I can get. It's really cool to win Best Lifter. sword right here. That's the big sword that I got. It's a Giant's best lifter sword. It's really, really cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to hang it up somewhere in the house. Definitely not. That's one trophy I'm definitely not throwing away. I throw away most of all my others, but that one I'm keeping for a long time. So it's a good experience. I got to meet a lot of cool people, and I had some fun, and I hit some good lifts. And you know, my heart is pretty broken because I didn't hit a PR total, but I'll be back. There's another meet in mid-November. I'm doing it because I don't really have a choice at this point, and now I'm going to make some changes, and hopefully that time, finally, I'm going to break this 1355 and get that monkey off my back. Anyway, keep checking in. More videos for you very soon.